All right, let's do this. All right, so you got one viewer here. Thank you for joining. Um, Hopefully, we have a good trading day. Maybe more people might tune in. If not, that's totally fine. What's important is that we take some good trades today. Uh, all right. It's been a while since I've live streamed. Feel like the nerves again. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to show y'all how I currently trade using accumulation distribution. Um, yeah, I saw that the tutorial that I put out like a long time ago recently started getting more views, and then it kind of made me wonder why I went away from it. Because even when I rewatched it back then, um, yeah, I was like, man, 80 was great for me. I don't know why I ever left it, and then I kind of added it back to my charts, as you can see here. And I've been using it again, and it's been really good for determining bias, and I'm just really glad to have it back as part of my strategy. And yeah, hopefully today I can kind of show you how I use it. Hey, what's up, Johnny B? Hey, David. Huh, my video wasn't showing up. So I realized that when I first set up the stream, or the scheduled stream, I set it for 8 p.m. 8 p.m. not 8 a.m. So then I switched it to 8 a.m. So maybe that's why. Uh, but anyway, yeah, glad you found it anyway. And let's see what we have going on here right now. So far, I don't know. We just have a kind of a downtrend off the open. Currently, you can see that I'm looking at the 2 minute chart, and I'm trading M and Q, which are the micro Nasdaq futures. You can see that I'm showing all my Apex accounts on the right here on the screen. Um, I basically right now I have 16 PAs and 4 evaluations, and you can see all the account balances. You'll see that my biggest PA is actually um, pretty close to. Sorry, my biggest PA is actually above the withdrawal threshold, and so uh, I'll be taking a withdrawal this upcoming July window on July 1st, which is yeah, next Monday. And the other PAs are in pretty good shape. Um, if I have a good trading day today, I might be able to get another one over that withdrawal threshold, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, these PAs, they all have, I think, like 28, 29 trading days on them right now. So I've been trading these guys for a while. Just trading trading with micro contracts. Not trying to rush it. Just taking small 100, $200 profit days, and there are also lost days in there as well. And so here actually I can check how many days I have on them right now. Okay, so I have like 21 or 22 trading days on all these accounts so far, which is, yeah, it's probably about like a full month of trades. But yeah, just not trying to rush the process. I actually used to have 20 PAs, but on 4 of the PAs, I blew them because I was trying to aggressively size up to make a withdrawal window. And yeah, and of course, when you size up too much and you take a few losses in a row, you kind of go on tilt and then you just blow them. So won't be making that mistake again. The lesson learned there from blowing those 4 PAs is to just not be too aggressive. No need to rush things. take it one day at a time, trade small, set a max loss limit per day, and yeah, just exercise like response, just exercise good discipline, be responsible, and yeah, just follow your rules. That's the best way to trade. Okay, so usually I like switching between the 2 minute and 5 minute chart. I think I take my entries on the 2 minute, but the 5 minute trend is what I generally rely on the most. Hold on, I'm gonna open up a coffee. So it looks like we got some buyers coming in. So during the stream, I also want to showcase my LFG setup, which is this is my personal favorite entry model. That it combines some Al Brooks concepts, it combines some ICT concepts, but it just kind of makes sense for me. So what this model basically is I draw fibs. So as you can see, I drew a fib from this recent downswing or this recent downtrend. And basically, if I have a short bias, I would look to enter short somewhere in this upper 50% level, and ideally at around these minor internal liquidity pools. And so here we have a little pivot high. So potentially there might be some stop orders up here. And so if I were short biased, I would try to enter uh, probably like in this area, which is right above this pivot high. And the trade thesis would be, uh, like the market makers moving price up to take these stops before flushing back down. And that's only if I'm short biased. And currently, looking at AD, yeah, I'm not really short biased right now. Johnny, yeah. So I made the switch to NQ or MNQ, um, partly because I think the moves are a little cleaner on MNQ, and I think because it moves a little faster, it just psychologically feels like it's not chopping around as much. Even though I think if you really zoom out, NQ and ES, they're not that different. I think the ES just moves a little more slowly, but each point value is also worth more. Um, but I guess like I in the past I've taken some trades on ES and it was just moving so slow that I decided to give NQ a shot because everyone says NQ moves a little faster, and yeah, I think I just enjoyed a little more volatility on NQ. But I'm also trading MNQ, and so I think it's still I'm still trading responsible size, and so even if it's more volatile, I'm still trading small enough size where I'm not like blowing my accounts after a few losses. But ultimately, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. They're both very similar. It's just it just depends on like if you want to see your P&Ls move a little faster or swing a little more. Whereas with ES, because it ticks up and ticks down at a slower pace, it just feels like it's like barely moving. Okay, so yeah, I'm not really seeing any setups yet. So I'm just gonna stay patient. Yeah, my goal for today is probably just to catch one or two good trades, um, win or lose. Like if I see my setup and everything lines up, I'm going to take it. It's going to be a good trade, even if I lose. And yeah, so my goal every day is to just take one or two good trades that follow my rules. Doesn't matter if they win or if they lose. But I will say that if my first trade is a loss, that makes me want to take another trade more. So I tend to be a little more aggressive with my second entry after a loss, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. I think that's something that maybe I personally still need to work on, but it is what it is, and so far it's been overall working for me. Um, so yeah, let's see if anything can form soon. Oh, we got news coming up. It's a really, really good point. I did not even check news today. Let's see here. Today is Friday, 9:45. Chicago PMI. Yeah, thanks for the heads up, Johnny. Let's see if the market decides to do anything in 2 minutes. All right, let's see what the 1 minute's looking like. Okay. So right now, when looking at AD, you kind of have to look at volume, and so it's important not to consider the pre-market action and the market open action together because it kind of skews the AD reading. So right now I'm pretty much only focusing on the AD readings after 8:30 because all this pre-market action is yeah, it'll just be confusing if I try to analyze that along with the post market open action. All right, so now we definitely are getting some movement here. Let's see. So far, what I'm seeing is that price in AD, which is this line here, is pretty much following each other. Price is making higher highs, higher lows, and so is AD. So I'm kind of waiting until I see some sort of divergence. Um, yeah, once I see some divergence, that'll kind of help me form a bias, and then I'll start looking for trades. All right, let's go back to the 2 minute chart. So now we see price pushing higher into the area that I was potentially looking at entering short if I were short biased. But because we don't have a bearish divergence on AD, I won't be looking for an entry. But we still have time. So if AD starts putting, let's say, lower lows while price is putting higher lows, that would be a divergence, a bearish divergence, and I'd be start looking at short entries. Okay, so price pushed past the 0.5 fib, approaching the golden pocket soon. All right. So far, it's just like a decent reaction actually off that entry level that I was considering earlier. But I just have no reason to be bearish right now, so that's why I didn't actually put my entry order. Right? Yeah, just waiting, just being patient, waiting. Waiting for AD to help me determine my bias. See if the 1 minute looks any different. I find that the 1 minute and 2 minute are generally pretty similar. I actually like the 2 minute a little more than the 1 minute because the 1 minute is a little too it's a little too fast, I think. Generally, I like to make my decisions after a candle closes, and sometimes like I'm trying to still do some analysis, and then the 1 minute candles are just closing a little too fast for me. Hey, what's up, Hattie? I hope I said that right. How's it going? All right, so price is entering the golden pocket. Still waiting for a potential bearish divergence before going short. It doesn't look like we're going to get any, just given the 80 reading so far. So I'm actually more bullish than bearish. And here's another application of the LFG setup where I just drew fibs from this this recent uptrend. It's a very minor uptrend on a smaller time frame, but we're making higher highs and higher lows. And so if I'm bullish, and I would say that I'm more bullish than bearish right now, if price were to retrace back down to this golden pocket level underneath this pivot low right here, I would entertain a long entry here, and this is something that I'm yeah I would rather go long here than short from up here. So yeah, let's see if price can retrace back down to our entry. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna. All right, just making sure that my orders went through. Yep. Okay. So right now, based on my LFG setup, I'm basically placing a buy order at this little liquidity pool area, trying to catch a continuation long after a retracement. But yeah, I don't know if we'll get this entry. Currently, it's looking unlikely. But yeah, the goal is to catch a long entry, or is to catch a long trade with a good entry. Like I could just try to go long right here because I see it's pretty bullish, but it just feels bad longing um so far into the trend. So I'd much rather wait for it to retrace, and then the question is, okay, after it retraces, um, where do you enter? And my favorite place to entry is by these liquidity pools. Damn. All right. Yeah, buyers are definitely picking up steam right here. But yeah, nothing we can do but just watch. All right. And honestly, now our retracement area is so deep. Like for us to get filled, it would have to be such a deep retracement that I feel like the the bull thesis wouldn't even be as strong. So I'm going to cancel this order now. I think that my favorite place to enter generally is between the 0.5 fib level and the golden pocket. So if there were any pivot points in between these two levels, that would be my ideal place to enter. So this entry point is now below the golden pocket. And yeah, I just feel like if price were to come all the way back down here, I wouldn't feel as good, or I wouldn't feel as bullish. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these other fibs. Yes, so a golden pocket is, I believe it's the 0.62 and 0.64. Oh, sorry, 0.62 and 0.65, I believe. It's retracement area. I have it laid out on my fibs as these two golden lines here. Hopefully you can see it. But it's basically just an area that price is likely to retrace to before moving back up or resuming the trend. So if it's bearish, it would retrace up to the golden pocket before resuming back down. But it's the golden pocket is just one of the Fibonacci retracement levels. And the Fibonacci retracement levels are, the Fibonacci numbers, I guess, are like numbers that like naturally occur in nature or something like that. And for whatever reason, a lot of people who have like, analyzing price have noticed that a lot of retracements occur at these various Fibonacci retracement levels. Could be due to like, I don't know, like the institutional math-based algorithms. Could be due to just confirmation bias. But yeah, I found that my favorite fib levels that actually that I have observed that tend to work the most is the 0.5, which is 50% of the retracement, or the golden pocket, which is, yeah, like I said, like 62%. And this is a NinjaTrader um, tool. So if you go to draw, you can see there's a Fibonacci retracements tool. Dang. So I'm screen capturing my NinjaTrader chart window, and so unfortunately, I don't think it's showing the different options. But yeah, it looks like a little pencil tool at the top of your NinjaTrader chart, and if you click it, one of the options is the Fibonacci retracements. Johnny, so I manage risk by I kind of have like a little mental idea of how much I want to risk per trade, and right now it's about $100. So my max risk per trade is $100, and my max size. I guess I don't really have a max size because if I'm just going for a very small move, I sometimes might size in a little heavier. Um, but once my max loss of $100 per trade um, is, is getting close to getting hit, I have my finger on the close button and I'm ready to exit. And then I also have a max loss per day, and that's $300 right now. So I think I've only hit it once on all these PAs. But yeah, once I hit $300, I'm out. And I actually set those max loss limits in my Rhythmic account. So in Rhythmic or R Trader, you can actually set auto liquidate thresholds where once your account drops to 300, or once your account hits $300 of max loss a day, it'll automatically close you out of all your positions and you're locked out of trading. So um, that's generally how I manage my risk and how I try to prevent blowing my accounts in a single day, which I definitely used to struggle with. But I think over time you just get more experience. Losses don't tilt you as much. You kind of see the dangers of going on tilt because going on tilt sometimes ends okay, where you might make back your losses, but in most cases, you just blow your account. And so making that mistake over and over again just kind of teaches you, or you just internalize the dangers of going on tilt, and you just don't do it as much. Personally, at least that's in my experience. I think also as a trader, with being on tilt, with going on tilt as your biggest risk to trading, you try to just do as much as you can to prevent that from happening. And over the past 2.5 years, or I think almost 3 years that I've been trading, I've learned a lot about myself, and I've kind of put in place a lot of measures that work for me to prevent tilt. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree honestly. Like eventually, you will go on tilt. It's impossible to prevent it forever. Um, but I do think that like you can go on tilt and still not blow your accounts. So once you, like right now we're trying to do all we can to prevent tilt, knowing that eventually we most like oh no we definitely will eventually go on tilt at some point. Then you have to take measures to minimize the damage from when you do go on tilt. And for me, that's just setting these, auto liquidate thresholds in my accounts. So if I do go on tilt, let's say like I'm in a trade, my max loss is supposed to be $100, but I'm on tilt and I want to stay in the trade, and it keeps going against me, but I'm stubborn because I'm on tilt, or um, maybe I size in, or a DCA. That's generally not a good idea. But if you're on tilt, you don't care, so you just do it. As soon as my max loss hits $300, the system will automatically close my position. So it kind of like forces my tilt trading spree to end. So that's one way that you can minimize the damage from going on tilt. All right, and currently, I mean, price is just it's just continuing to rip. I don't really see I don't really see a good entry based on my personal trading model. And so, it sucks. It sucks watching price just like nonstop go up, which we've been seeing a lot of, I think, over the past few months, and not being able to capitalize on it. But if it's not part of your strategy, if these momentum, capturing momentum is not part of your strategy, just don't do it. And if capturing momentum is part of your strategy, then you should always do it, right? Like momentum traders right now would be, yeah, yeah, they're sitting pretty right now. Wow, look at this. I'm glad we didn't try shorting from here. Um, I saw AD was confirming price. It was confirming the bullish price action. So even though my LFG setup would have given me an entry here, I didn't take it because I didn't have AD confirmation. Okay, so now things are a little interesting because we see price hit the pre-market highs. So it looks like we took some liquidity there. Then there was a bit of a wick, but okay, the wick is forming again. So it looks like a lot of traders probably just took profit once they hit this target. So yeah, we'll see what price wants to do from here. 1 second. I'm gonna check in on some work stuff. Okay. Wow, what a candle. Holy smokes. That's a bad candle on the 1 minute chart. That's a big 2 minute candle right now. Wow. So I guess whatever news dropped at 9:45 Eastern, I mean, it must have been bullish. A lot of people started buying after that came out. Yeah, this is annoying. Like if today's another strong trend day where the market just keeps going up with no retracements, um, like I'm not gonna have any entries with my setup because my setup relies on retracements down to the 50% Fibonacci or lower. So if that doesn't happen, then I guess I just don't take any trades today. But damn. Yeah, man, this actually would have been a decent place to enter long, where you have a full bodied candle that pushed above um, like a previous high. It's probably even a liquidity pool here, and it just closed so strong, like a full bodied candle, that this actually would have been a great place to go long for continuation. But it's not part of my personal strategy. But if I were just trading pure price action and not strictly following um, like a specific setup, I probably would have gone long here. Catalan, it's going to reject from a 4-hour OB pretty soon. Oh shoot! Actually, with with NinjaTrader, you can see that I don't have it set up to show so much historical data, but yeah, I mean, it can't just be this bullish forever. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does hit an area that it'll reject from. Man, so right now, here's what I'm hoping price will do, just so I can actually enter a trade. I hope the market will hit some area of resistance. It'll come down. It'll maybe like chop around a little bit, kind of create more of these minor liquidity pools. Um, then resume upwards. So then I'll have areas to enter from, and then I wanted to kind of like retrace again to tag me in before moving up again. Because yeah, I mean, right now I'm only looking at longs. Like I would not even consider a short right now. There's no reason to try to catch a reversal when the market is so bullish. Like if I wanted to, I could even start moving like my fibs up a little bit, because like this is where the bullish momentum started. So I guess this is almost even like a new range right here of just all the buyers that stepped into the market. So if we can kind of like chop around here a little bit, maybe put some pivot lows around the 0.5 fib level, that'll give me reason to enter the market. But until it does that, yeah, I just have to be patient. So something that I've also found, just in the past whatever 2.5, 3 years of trading, is that in most cases, the less trades you take a day, the better. And so, yeah, I mean, now I take, honestly, probably at most, the most trades I've taken in the past month has probably been 4 trades a day. And yeah, most days I just take 2 trades. I think, it's cliche, but quality over quantity definitely applies for trading. Also, just in terms of commissions, the more trades you take, the more you're paying in commissions, right? Damn, this is just price just does not want to retrace at all. I almost feel like when it does hit resistance, it might fall pretty hard. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. AD is just going straight up, following price, so there's no divergence. We're bullish right now. If it wasn't already obvious from the price chart, AD has confirmed that we are very bullish right now. I don't even know why I'm cycling through these different time frames. Like, there's my setup isn't even close to forming right now. All right, probably just keep it on the 2 minute. Man, yeah, I was really hoping that we'd have a little more choppiness so I could actually take a trade for y'all to see. But my setup is just not forming with such a strong trend and no retracements. But actually, maybe right now I'll see if I can update my time frames so I can see more historical data. I actually don't know how to get more historical data to show. Yeah, is there anyone in the chat that actually knows how do I get more historical bars to show? So right now this is the 1 hour chart on NinjaTrader, but I can't see past, I don't know, what is this, like 1, 2, 3, like 4 days. Like, I would like to see more historical data so I can see, potential areas of resistance that might be coming up, but I just Can't see it right now. Probably just Google it right now. The price isn't doing anything anyway. I mean, it's going crazy right now is what price is doing, but my setup's not forming, so might as well figure out how to add more historical data to the chart. Yeah, you're probably right. You probably just gotta pay for it, huh? um, yeah, I do have Trading View. I'm gonna open that up. Uh, it's not um, it's not gonna show on my screen capture because I do screen capture on Windows, not my actual screen. But yeah, let me pull up on Trading View to see where potential areas of rejection are. And all right, honestly, next one coming up is just the previous. It's just all-time highs, I guess. All-time highs at around like 20,400. So around here, I guess. But it would be pretty crazy if we actually get there today. All right, well, I guess on the 2-minute chart, we can see that the buying pressure has died down a little bit. It had these like huge, big candles, and now we're kind of like chopping our way up little by little. This could even be a potential bearish setup. Man, I haven't traded candlestick patterns in a while, but this would be like a bear flag, I guess. There's no way I'm gonna try to short here though. Like not after all this. Yeah, Crad, you're exactly right. If you're not already long, all you can do is watch. I used to be more upset just like watching price go without me like this, and then I would FOMO into like a long entry like somewhere up here. And then once you're in, you kind of like don't know when to get out. You're holding it. You don't really have a target. You don't really know where to put your stop loss, and you're kind of just, I guess, you're just winging it at that point, and that's not a place you want to be when trading. The best trades are you have your plan before going in, before entering, where you know where your stop is, you know where your target is. Um, Even in watching price, you kind of tell yourself, if price does this, I will do this, and then you stick to that. That's the best way to trade. There's no confusion. Um, but yeah, this does suck. It still sucks, but I'm better at not impulsively entering. And yeah, I think those are kind of like a small things that you can get better at with more experience. Just being okay with not being in a trade, and being okay with just watching price continue to rip upwards if you're not already long. Okay. So now if price retraces pretty hard, I think this is actually a pretty interesting spot to get in. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of traders who are long maybe have runners that are still like in the market, probably put their stop below this strong upwards move, and so there's probably some liquidity down here. Kind of like I mentioned before, like this is still within the 0.5 fib and the golden pocket area, and so this is an area that I would still be interested in going long if price, you know, dumps down to get there. All right, some bears finally stepping in. Pretty decent bear candle. The market's obviously still bullish, but as I said, it can't just go up forever. Eventually, some people will take profits, and this could be just some buyers who finally took profits when they saw that the buying momentum kind of was starting to die down. Wow. Actually, what would be ideal for me is we see that price is starting to make lower highs and lower lows, kind of like chop its way down, but we see AD continue to push upwards. That would be extremely bullish for me, and I would be very excited to go long. Or if price wants to continue to chop upwards, but we see AD start chopping downwards, that's a bearish divergence, and then I actually would start looking for shorts. But for right now, both are in line with each other. We kind of see that price dropped a little bit, but AD also dropped a little bit. So still no divergences yet. Still nothing to trade yet. But I have a feeling that something might start setting up soon. Could just be wishful thinking, but we'll see. Call. I just cancel it. Let's see the 1 minute chart. So I guess if I really wanted to take a trade, I could go just even down to like the like even lower time frames. So we can check out what the 15-second time frame looks like. Oh, it's loading. Price action, I do believe, is fractal, and so technical setups, I think, are valid on all time frames. Wonder why it's not loading. I'm trying to load the 30-second chart right now, but it just says loading right now. Huh. Let me try to reset this. Okay, so it looks like the minute time frame works, but when I try to go to 30 seconds, whoa. Okay, that's weird. It's just like a glitch or something? What's going on? All right, well, this is the 15-second time frame right now. Maybe after I let it load for a little bit, it'll fix itself. All right, screw that. Go back to the minute time. Another minute's messed up too. What the heck is going on? Hold on. I'm gonna disconnect from my data connections and reconnect. Something's weird about this. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be trading if data is like looking like that. All right, let's reconnect. It's still like looking weird. I'm like missing data, missing bars. Oh, but now the second chart is now working. The 15-second chart is working. The 30-second chart. All right. Well, it's fine. We can just stay on the 15-second chart for now. At least, yeah, I can maybe like show y'all what the LFG setup looks like on a smaller time frame because setups will present itself more often. So right now, this downtrend or the range of it, I kind of drew fibs. You can see that this is the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. Yeah, like we're not seeing any bearish divergence on AD here. So yeah, like I don't think you can go short here. There isn't really much liquidity here as well. I guess there's maybe a little bit here. There's a little bit up here. Whoa, okay. That's a good move. But yeah, if you were to trade my setup without getting any additional confluence, which I think is generally you should only trade your setup if you have some additional confluences. But if you didn't look for confluences, you would basically take a short somewhere in this area because this is the range of the downtrend. Price retraces up to like the 0.5 fib between the 0.5 fib and the golden pocket. You would look for a short over here to kind of try to catch some continuation back down. But yeah, without confluence here, uh, I just I personally like just can't take that trade. Okay, so here there's like slight divergence. We can see that price is making or price made a higher high here from here, and on AD it's kind of like yeah, like price technically made a lower high. So this is like I think this counts as a bearish divergence, which is bearish. So after seeing this, if you counted this as divergence, you could consider a short. But personally, I don't think this is big enough. I think true divergence, it's very obvious, and this slight higher high versus slight lower high. Personally, I don't consider that to be strong enough to take a trade on. But yeah, so far it looks like it is working. Like after this higher high was put in price, but AD's lower high, we kind of see some more um, bearish continuation. But man, yeah, price really is just not doing anything right now. Like on the 2-minute chart, I guess we're just still chopping. So on AD, we can see that price made a lower high here. AD also made a lower high, so no divergence there. What that does suggest, though, is that potentially this bull trend might have ended. But actually, this candle hasn't closed yet, so we don't know if it could just go up and close above. But if this closes, then we will have a lower high. All right. Actually, normally when I trade or during my trading sessions, if price is untradeable, I'll just do some day job work. I do have a full time job. Trading is just a hobby for me. It's a hobby that used to be very expensive, but in the past year and a half, it's actually becoming quite lucrative for me. And yeah, it's a very I definitely enjoy it a lot, but um, I don't think I could do it full time. I don't think I could do trading full time. I think it's a lot of pressure, and having that pressure to like pay your bills from trading, I think really messes with your trading psychology. And so yeah, I think I trade the best when there's no pressure or when there's very little pressure. So yeah, during times like these, usually I would just work on my day job stuff and let price chop around until my setup forms. And I kind of, like look over and try to monitor the price. And if something sets up, I'll start watching price again. But I mean, right now it's not really doing anything. Okay. And as I say that, price now is starting to come down a little bit. Let's go back to the 15-second chart that we were looking at earlier. Wow, look at that move. Oops. So yeah, it actually looks like that setup that I kind of called out a little earlier played out perfectly. Even though we didn't have um, confluence from AD, the setup itself did play out. We have this this downtrend, put some fibs on the entire downtrend range, retraced up to between the zero 0.5 fib and the golden pocket, then continued back down. And there was that slight divergence here where this is a lower high, right, compared to this, and price put in a higher high. So that was a very slight divergence that personally I would not trade because it's so minor. It's like barely even there. But technically, that was a bearish divergence that played out. Man, I am just waiting. Okay, so I guess we are starting to see some chop downwards, but again, if it doesn't get to at least here, because I think this is where there could be some liquidity. Uh, it's like the low before the big displacement upwards. If price doesn't get down here, I don't think I can go long. Okay, but this is actually interesting now. So we kind of have another downtrend forming here, right? We got lower lows, lower highs. This is probably a liquidity pool. There's probably some minor liquidity. Some bears probably have some stops over here. It's interesting, but just want to confirm. See how AD is looking. Thing is, like, this could be a short entry above this liquidity pool. But if I'm looking at AD, AD is actually there's bullish divergence here. We see price making lower highs, and AD is kind of making equal highs. Potentially, this if this candle closes strong, it could even be making higher highs on AD. So that's a bullish setup. Oh, sorry, that's bullish divergence. So I don't think, yeah, I can't go short here. If we didn't have bullish divergence here, I would have gone short, probably right around here. Go on maybe the 30-second chart. See what that looks like. Yeah, I'm trying to look at AD here. Yeah, I mean we're not getting bearish divergence on AD. Actually, it's bullish. So yeah, I can't go short here. Even though I think this is a valid setup based on my LFG requirements. This is a short entry. Personally, I just need confluence from AD, and I don't have that. Yeah, just not seeing my setups form so far. So yeah, I wish I wish this could be a more exciting stream, but I mean price action just isn't cooperating. Yeah, man, look at AD. We're going up. AD's making 80 is kind of uptrending while price is on a little bit of a downtrend. This is pretty this is pretty bullish. It's a pretty bullish divergence we have right now. So if I can find a long setup, maybe even on like a lower time frame. Because right now, even on the 1 minute time frame, I mean, I guess we can call this an uptrend, but there's like no liquidity uh, around the levels that I want to enter. Okay, back to the 15-second chart. Hmm. Okay, actually, now price is coming down a little more. Maybe we can get an entry here. Could fall pretty fast towards it. I'm very bullish right now, though. This is pretty clear divergence. Price making lower highs and lower lows, and AD's making higher highs and higher lows. I just need to have a good long entry that satisfies all my entry requirements. And unfortunately, that's down here. You know what? I can just put it here right now so you can see where I would like to enter. Let's see what the 5-minute looks like now. Just this. Okay, so the AD divergence isn't. I mean, it doesn't exist in the 5-minute chart. You can see. So this is why also like AD should be used as confluence, not kind of like your whole trade. This is also because depending on like what time frame you're looking at, AD could look very different. So here we can send the 5-minute chart. AD and price are exactly in line. There's no divergence. But going down to the 2-minute chart, we see that this divergence is a little more apparent compared to the 5-minute chart. Man, I almost want there to be bearish AD divergence, or at least um, if AD were to just confirm with price, so maybe not even divergence, but bearish confluence. I would love to go short here, like right here. Golden pocket, can set my stop right here. It's a very tight. It's a very tight stop. Risk is very clearly defined. All right, if price pushes above high of day, my bearish thesis is wrong. We're kind of fading an attempt to reverse the bear trend. It's not a very strong bear trend, but it is a bear trend. It's pretty choppy, so potentially, this could even be like a supply zone if you trade that. But yeah, we'll see. If price does end up pushing up there, it looks like it might not. But if it does, we'll see what 80 looks like. But I feel pretty good about a short from up here. But looks like it's coming down now. Which I also want because I would love to enter long down here. Let's see how the 5-minute chart looks. Yep, the 5-minute chart is. It's just agreeing with price. It's coming down. Okay. Could potentially be a bounce from here. I believe this was the pre-market highs. Sometimes what used to be resistance can turn into support. Personally, I don't think that's the case often enough for me to actually try to trade that. But this probably would be a level. Like if you were bearish, or sorry, if you were in a short from somewhere up here, that would be a pretty reasonable place to take profit. Come on. Let's get some more movement. Let's get filled here, huh? Okay, so we see that the previous bullish divergence we had kind of corrected itself. So we had some divergence, but now AD did put in a lower low. And so I guess like I'm not as bullish as I was before. You know, obviously, right? Because price did start dumping. So obviously, so like anyone wouldn't be bullish anymore. But you know, I'm just trying to point out how this divergence. You could even say that this bullish divergence did not play out. All right, we had higher lows here, lower lows here, and then price dumped. So this divergence was a false signal. But you know, this is also why you shouldn't take trades based purely on AD. AD should be used as a confluence where okay, you have your setup forming, and you just want a little bit more confidence to like go long or go short. You look at AD, you see that okay, AD is confirming that okay, there's a bearish divergence or maybe this bearish confluence for your short. It just gives you a little more confidence to put the trade on. But we really need price to either keep dumping or I don't know. Is there a bearish setup here that I can take? Even something like this? Okay. This is actually pretty interesting. So if we look at this strong move down, we can see that there's a little bit of liquidity right here. Price made a small pivot high before returning downwards. We kind of see that this also used to be support. So we see support, flush through, retrace, resistance, flush back through. I think this is actually a pretty good place to go short. All right, I think we'll actually get filled here. So this isn't like a super A plus setup, but it still satisfies my requirement of entering between the 0.5 fib and the golden pocket. Also, we have AD that now confirms the bear trend. We have lower lows and lower highs. So AD and price are both bearish. And so this is basically, we're going to enter at this very minor liquidity pool up here and hope that we get tagged in. Maybe price might go up a little here a little bit and then flush back down. So generally, I like going into these trades with just one contract to start, and then kind of like to assess how the trade is going before sizing in. I tend to size into winners. So if price continues to just like, you know, let's say I get tagged in and price continues to just go upwards, you know, I have my stop over here and then I'll just allow myself to get stopped out with, you know, on one contract. But if I get tagged in and then I see that price is starting to come downwards, I'll size in on the way down. And then this would probably be my profit target, like just the most recent low. So let's see what happens. The reason why I say this isn't like A plus is because this isn't like, well, first of all, I'm trying to go short when we just had this in the morning, right? So going short right now is definitely not going to be like a very high probability trade, just given how this morning's price action has been. I think a little bit it is. I do want to take a trade today, especially on stream. I kind of want to like show y'all like my setup, and so this maybe is a little bit forced, just because this is kind of a retracement short leg in a pretty strong uptrend, but it does satisfy all my requirements to put on a trade, and so like this is a valid trade in my books. Maybe I rate it like a B setup maybe. Okay, I actually have to take a call. I'm gonna go AFK for a little bit, but I'll be watching the charts. All right, sorry. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. Had to take a work call. Let's get my shark back up in here. Let's recalibrate this guy. All right. Okay, so did not get filled. Looks like the bearish trend is intact. Yeah, trade is still valid. Hey, Halo Racer. Yeah, appreciate that, man. I think being a consistently profitable trader is it's simple to like how to get there is simple, right? It's like you just have to be disciplined and you have to have good discretion. You have to improve your trader intuition, but it's very very hard to achieve it. Um, but there's no shortcut to becoming a consistently profitable trader, and really, it's like I think everyone's journey actually is very similar. Like no one's profitable their first year or second year of trading. Maybe some people are profitable their second year of trading, but in their first year of trading, it's like you're gonna have your upswings where you think you're like a trading god, um, only to be humbled when you go in a downswing. Then you start questioning everything if your strategy is even good. Um, but really, it just takes experience in front of the charts and just a lot of patience. Um, it's kind of like it's important to understand your own psychology and knowing what your own triggers are, to prevent yourself from going on tilt. It's just like it takes a long time to really understand yourself well enough to avoid going on tilt. And this is like talking about the discipline part of it. Um, and so yeah, like when I put out that consistency video of how I achieve consistent profitability, I thought it was kind of like maybe like obvious almost. Like it didn't seem like so insightful. But I think the point of it is that it's not rocket science. I think to be consistently profitable, it's that to get there you have to be disciplined. You have to have good intuition. Um, but it's hard getting there. But it's it's not. Yeah. I don't know. Like there are no shortcuts getting there. But I mean, it's not like like a secret. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's no secret to becoming consistently profitable. It just takes hard work and experience. All right, so we see price continuing to dump without me. So what we saw here actually was price did take some minor liquidity here before dumping. You see how like I had these fibs drawn, I had this little sell order here. Price came up, came back down, formed a little liquidity pool, tagged it, then flushed without me. That sucks, but sometimes you just don't get your entry filled. Um, I have found that because when I was kind of coming up with the setup or kind of like figuring out what I enjoy taking or what technical setups that I liked, when I was kind of coming up with this, I did consider putting entries at any liquidity, even if it was um, not above the zero point 0.5 fib. And I just found that in many cases, back up. And so in this case, it wasn't, but I'm still very confident that just any liquidity pool entry is not necessarily high probability, and it's much higher probability if the liquidity pool entry is above the zero point 0.5 fib. But in this case, this did play out. Oh, nice, Hattie. Yeah, congrats on that win. So I guess on ES, maybe we can even look at ES right now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move my entry here because now if we look at this move, it's yeah the fib range kind of changed, and so this is now above the 0.5 fib. But yeah, we can look at actually ES real quick. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, this yeah, so it does seem like on the ES this trade worked out beautifully. If you had your entry right here, I know it's technically a little above the golden pocket. It kind of tagged and flushed down, so looks like I'm having some connection issues. Nothing really I can do about that. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, I think you might be getting some lag on your end. Damn. Okay, so this trade really got away from me. Don't. Is this still valid? Is the question. I think it is. I think this trade is still valid. I drew fibs from the very top to the very top of this this downtrend to the bottom, and this actually is still above the 50% fib. So I think this short is still valid. Let's see AD. Let's make sure that there's no bullish divergence here. Honestly, this we'll see how this candle closes, but right now it does kind of seem like there's some bullish divergence here. Oh man, originally we had that entry down here, the long entry that I canceled. So far it's playing out, but man, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. The 2-minute AD is still confirming the bear trend. I feel like if it were to flush all the way down here, I probably still would have taken it. But anyway, yeah, let's see. Right now, I'm more bearish than bullish now because AD is confirming that the bull trend has ended, and I think this bear setup up here, it feels like pretty high probability to me. If it were to come back up here, tag here, and come back down, that seems more likely than price coming down here to go back up. So we're gonna leave it. Um, so how do you, yeah? So I actually generally target 1-to-1. And the reason for that is right now my Apex accounts are still under most of them are still under the drawdown threshold, and so it's very important for me to take profit and not try to go for too aggressive targets because as you know, Apex accounts the drawdown trails your unrealized max. And so there's just been too many times where I've gotten burned where it hit my 1-to-1 but didn't hit my 2-to-1 before reversing, and it just really wrecked my drawdown threshold. And so now I just go for 1-to-1, either 1-to-1 or liquidity. If my liquidity target is like close to 1-to-1, I'll just set it at the liquidity target. But once my all my accounts are above the drawdown threshold, where your threshold doesn't trail anymore, then I'll probably take profit at 1-to-1, but I'll probably leave a runner. I'll probably leave like maybe like half of my position or a third of my position to like a runner target, which will be 2-to-1. But I don't think I would ever target more than 2-to-1. Yeah, man. Here we go. Price is dumping now. All right, well, I'm glad we didn't actually take this trade down here. I had it, but I canceled it when I saw that AD was confirming the bearish trend. Yeah, really nice job, Hattie. 12 months on ES that's solid, man. That's a really good trade. So if we can see that 2-minute AD is still bearish. Let's see what the 5-minute looks like. Okay, 5-minute chart is interesting. Look at this. It's looks like AD kind of made a little higher low here when price is just straight dumping. So if we can get a bullish setup, I would entertain that. But right now, you know, there's nothing going on right now. Like I said, like on this move up, there was just no liquidity along the way. On the 5-minute chart at least. If we had some kind of like pivot lows on the way up, those would be potential long entries, but right now, I mean, it's just straight up and straight down. Yeah, Howdy, there's no way. It's very difficult for us to catch the full move. And so yeah, I learned that just capture a piece of the move, make sure it's at least 1-to-1 your risk, and just be happy with it. You know, of course you can always catch more, but unless it's like you had your target at um at a level and then you moved it, kind of like not following your rules. Maybe you got scared or I don't know, emotions took over and you moved it, and then you took less profit because you moved it, and then your original profit gets hit. That's something that you can learn from. That's something that in the future, if you kind of set your levels and everything is like, you know, like if you have like a bearish target and price is dumping as hard as it is now, there's no reason to be scared, right? If you have an aggressive, a more aggressive bearish target. Uh, but yeah, I don't know what happened in your situation. But if your original target got hit, but you just didn't capture the full move, you should not feel bad about that. That's a great trade. Okay, we can cancel this now. We're not really looking for a long trade anymore. I don't want this to go up, tag this, and come back down. So see if that happens. Okay, Hattie. Yeah, if you hit your 1-to-1 target, that's a great trade, man. Don't feel bad. Yeah, really nice job. Even just holding it to your target. I've had some trades when I had my target set, and then you know it's like price is like almost there, but then it kind of retraces it a little bit, and then I get scared, I just close it, and then of course it goes on to hit my target. That's when I really kick myself. Is when your original target gets hit, but you moved it because you're scared. So I mean, in your case, I mean, if you're targeting that 1-to-1 trade and it hit, that's great. Like you did everything right. Don't feel bad about that. Wow, this price action is I want to say it's a little unusual. Like these straight up with no retracements, then straight down with barely any retracements is I guess, it does happen, but I feel like you don't see it too much. And yeah, it's very hard to trade these. But, I guess this is NQ, right? ES. Let's look at MES again. See how that's looking. Yeah, MES actually gave you this retracement entry over here. But yeah, NQ didn't. So what can you do? Yeah, man. I find personally that the Nasdaq does this the most. Just goes straight up and straight down. Um, and then usually on ES and YM, I think that's a Dow, right? Is that the Dow or the Russell? YM. Actually, I actually have never traded that. Let's see what that is. Okay, it's the Dow. Okay. Yeah, I feel like they generally chop a little more. Like the moves are not as clean, which is also kind of why I like the Nasdaq a little more. Is like when you're in the trade, generally price moves are a little cleaner, where it just goes more directionally one way or another. Whereas in ES or YM, it kind of just like chops around, and you kind of it's easier to get whipped out, I think. Yeah, damn. This thing is it's not giving us a retracement entry, man. Just going straight down. I'm gonna cancel this for now. Maybe if I draw something like this. Yeah, this is like not really liquidity over here. It's so slight. I don't know if I can take that. I mean, AD is still pretty consistent. It's like kind of following. Oh, actually, the 1 minute AD has some bullish divergence right here. Yeah, it's good that you're looking at multiple charts too, because sometimes, yeah, looking at the same chart, you might not get a setup in one chart, but another chart might present a setup, and so you can kind of like pick. You can trade the chart that gives you your setup, right? So it's not a bad idea. Personally, I think I'd get confused a little too much. Just it's just too much to watch all at once, especially because as I said, I have like a full time day job, and so I'm fine just looking at one chart, and if nothing's setting up, I'll just do work. But of course, I'm streaming today, so I'm trying to like watch the charts the whole time. But normally on a normal day, I would just let price do its thing, and I'm just doing work, and I'll check in periodically. But yeah, man, I really hope that we get a good setup, but just couldn't get anything today. On the bright side, we didn't take any losses either, right? So break even day is, or a flat day is always better than a red day. Yeah. So my day job is in accounting. So yeah, I guess trading it's very different from accounting, but you can say it's loosely in the same field of like finance and money. But trading is like revenue generating, right? We call that front office. you're making money. And then accounting is more back office where you're recording entries. You're not really generating any revenue. But both are equally as important. But personally, I think trading is more fun. So it's a good balance, I guess. Okay, we actually are getting some bullish divergence on the 2-minute. Let's see if we can do anything with it. Okay, so we can see that AD is starting to curl upwards. Price still looks like it's on this pretty strong short-term downtrend. Yeah, so I work at home 3 days a week, and I go into the office 2 days a week. And so when I'm in office, I can't trade. I'll just take maybe one trade like pre-market or something before I go into the office. But then the 3 days I'm at home, I can trade like the whole day. But my work is pretty busy, and so I can't spend too much time watching price. But I am able to when things are slow at work. I can monitor more often, and I might trade a little more. But yeah, it's a good setup, the hybrid style. Um, David, are you talking about being an accountant? As an accountant, yeah, I think you just need a degree. I am a CPA, so that's like a certification, but it's not required for most accounting jobs. But most of the better paying ones probably do require a CPA, so that's like a certification that you would need. Oh, sorry, you don't need it, but it would be good to have. But other than that, I think you just need an accounting degree to get a job as an accountant. All right, this is yeah. This price action is tough, man. I I mean, it just I'm not even close to getting my setups today. I guess we're getting them on smaller time frames, like the 15-second time frame, like we saw that setup earlier. But I prefer to trade the 2-minute chart, and just nothing's forming today. Look at the 15-second again. All right, you know what? I think dang it. I actually was going to enter here because we do have some divergence here. Here, I'm going to put on a trade, very small risk on a 15-second time frame. We have AD going up. I think there's some bullish divergence here. See price going down, AD going up. Very small risk just to put on a trade today. That counts as a trading day for Apex. I'll set my stop down here, and then we'll see what happens. There we go. Okay, I'm in. This chart's moving very fast. Set my target up here. You can see that this is a little better than 1-to-1. All right, here we go. So you can see that we're in micros. Again, like this is, I'm kind of forcing this trade just so I can actually put a trade on stream. But yeah, let's see what happens. So far, it seems to be working. So I'm gonna add one here. So as I said, if its price is going in my favor, I will add. All right, so just hope price will continue upwards. I'm in 2 micro contracts now. You can see my average price is up here, but I'm gonna keep where my original trade was, my original entry was. This, yeah, this technically does meet my requirements. We have rising AD. We have this uptrend kind of price kind of retraced down, took liquidity down here. There's a lot of liquidity here, and then we hope that it'll push up. Yeah, you can see that all my accounts are in the trade. You can see the daily P&L is kind of like swinging a little wildly right now. My eval accounts, you'll see they're in double size, and my PA accounts are just I'm in 2 micros, and my evals are in 4 micros. All right, so we are getting close to our target. A little more. Again, I'm just targeting liquidity. Just missed our target. Don't like to see that. Now it's dumping. Yeah, that's rough. So if I had targeted 1-to-1, which would have been right here, based on my original entry, that would have gotten hit. But I targeted liquidity, which is right here. I don't think it was a bad target, but just got unlucky this time. It was very close. So now I want to decide if I should lower my, you know what? I'll target this liquidity. So slightly lower. There is more liquidity up there. Like I said, if my liquidity target is kind of close to my 1-to-1, I'll just put it at liquidity. But if it's far away, then I just put it at 1-to-1. So in this case, I thought it was close enough where liquidity would have gotten tagged. But that was, yeah, I was literally like, what, like 3 ticks away. So that's just unfortunate. But after that big sell-off, buyers still kind of stepped in a little bit here. So I wouldn't say this trade is like super doomed yet. You know what? I'm going to add one more here. So Apex lets you DCA once. So I sized into a winner once, and this is going to be my 1 DCA. If it comes down again, I do think that there's a good chance that we're going to continue upwards. You can see a lot of buyers in this zone. But things are looking pretty good right now. Hit my 1-to-1 again. Almost there. There we go. Okay. Nice. All right. Got one trade. I kind of forced it, I think, but I do think that it was a valid setup. Look, my original liquidity target did get hit. I lowered it by just a little bit. After seeing this happen, you just feel kind of bad. So I lowered it a little bit, but I think that was still a solid trade overall. You can see that in total, I made almost $1,000 across all my accounts. Just made a little progress in my PAs, and the evals are also getting close to the target. Wow, yeah, this trade, you can see that 2-to-1 probably is going to get hit here. Maybe this liquidity should have been like my target. Yeah, we'll see if it gets there. Thanks, Hattie. Yeah, just had to, like, I was getting kind of frustrated with how I couldn't get any setups on the 2-minute chart. So, zoomed into the 15-second chart, actually got something. And yeah, glad it worked out. The leverage you get from multiple PAs is crazy. It's so, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, it's a little stressful sometimes because, like, if you go on tilt, you can blow them all at the same time, right? So it's definitely kind of a double-edged sword. But on the bright side, it does let you size down. So I'm totally fine, you know, sizing down to micros and just winning, $40 per account. Because in total, it adds up to a lot, right? And wow, yeah, look, even this 2-to-1 got hit. This 3-to-1 probably gonna get hit too at this rate. But yeah, hopefully this kind of like showed you, some insight into how I trade with accumulation distribution. Just to kind of recap, we kind of see price. This is a 15-second chart. We see price in a downtrend, but we see AD pushing upwards, and so kind of found like this little range, this uptrend range, and I entered at liquidity in this liquidity pool right here. So price kind of came back down, tagged it, and then almost hit my target, came back down, and then retraced back up. So I'm also glad that it didn't move my stop to break even here, because if I did, I would have been stopped that for break even before price moved back up. Generally, I actually never move my stop to break even. What I will do is I will move my stop to the most recent pivot low. So if I wanted to be more cautious, I would have moved my stop probably like below this pivot low right here, which is where I got tagged into the trade. If my stop were here, it wouldn't have gotten hit. It would have gotten close, but then would have continued upwards. So, oh, yeah, I can show you my executions as well. So entered here. When price started moving in my favor, I added another one. I actually had another ad. I believe it was down here, or oh yeah, I did. I actually had an ad down here, I think. When it kind of showed promise again, I actually had another ad down here, but it just never got filled. And then I took profit at this liquidity target. I think I'm just gonna call it there. Like, unless I see really good setups over here, but I mean, yeah, I mean it's I'm not even close to seeing what I want for a trade. Maybe I'll look at the 1-minute chart, see if let's get this out of the way. See if there's anything I can catch here, but if not, I'm satisfied with just that one trade. That was a little smaller. I think most of my wins generally I try to make them around $100, which is like I said, my typical risk is $100. So in this case, I only made 40, a little over $40 per account. So it's a small trade, but happy to log a trading day. Actually, let's see if price gets down here. Would I be interested? Huh. I think I would. All right, Hattie. Yeah, really appreciate you tuning in and being very engaging and asking good questions. Really nice job on that ES short you took. Yeah, hope you have a rest of your trading day. And yeah, if I do another one, hope to see you on the next one. I don't think I am going to take this trade. I thought about it. There's some liquidity here, but this dump looks a little too sketchy for me to try to fade it. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. All right, so yeah, thanks all for tuning in. I'm gonna call it a trading day there. Booked a very small win today, but I'm glad I was able to showcase my current setup and also how I use AD to determine my bias. All right, take care, everyone.